afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to our All Recovery meeting. Once again, my name is Craig. I am your recovery coach here at Capital Recovery Center. And as always, it's fun to be with you discussing things related to recovery. And so as I begin to work with this computer, okay, here we are. Now, once again, welcome to our All Recovery meeting. And so today we're going to be talking about, I'm going to put it on the screen for those who may be watching or tuning in later. And today we're going to be talking about 10 things I've learned from addiction recovery. Today's topic, 10 things I've learned from addiction recovery. This is our All Recovery meeting. And as always, we welcome you as we begin to talk about these 10 things that I've learned. And so I am someone in recovery, and I learned while I was in the therapeutic treatment facility that we always keep the focus on I. So today I'm going to keep the focus on myself, and I ask you to do the same because a lot of times when we take the focus off ourselves, we begin to shift the blame. And so we don't want to shift the blame. We want to keep everything on ourselves. This article is brought to you by narconon-colorado.org. If you want this article, please feel free to join in. We got someone, very special guest in the room. You can't see him, but he's here. Introduce yourself.
Emmanuel.
Emmanuel. He is someone that's working on his recovery as well, I believe, and he's very intelligent. And so we always like to have him be a part of what we're doing here. So, Emmanuel, I'm going to read the intro, and then I'm going to read number one. If you like to read number two, you let me know. If not, I'll read it. All right? So the introduction says, we should all strive to become lifelong learners, and some of the most important lessons that a person can learn in life will come from life experience, not a textbook. The article says from experience. One of the most educational experiences I have had has come from my journey through addiction recovery and navigating the new world of living a sober lifestyle. Some things I have learned during this process include, all right, and I can relate to exactly what the writer has said. And this one here is number one, very important. Number one says, it's okay to take time for yourself. For some reason, I used to think that taking time for myself meant I was selfish. I don't really know where this idea came from, but I have grown to realize that taking time for myself was the only way I could really focus on getting better, doing a self-inventory. It's called doing a checkup list or a checkup of seeing how things going with yourself. Now that I have put in the work to establish a firm foundation for my recovery, I'm better able to take time for those I care about. Can't take care of someone else if you're not taking care of yourself. But it is still important to make time for self-care on a regular basis. Around here, we talk a lot about self-care. All right, and so I do some reading from time to time. That's one of my ways of self-care. I go on YouTube, I get on a podcast, and I look up some very interesting topics, whether it be self-motivating topics, or whether it be spiritual, et cetera, et cetera. That is one of my ways. And I believe the last time we said, you made mention of one way of you do self-care.
Yeah, go to the gym.
Go to that gym.
Yep.
Put that work in, right? And so let's talk about number two.
Number two, healthy boundaries are essential. Learning how to say no without feeling guilty, setting higher standards and standing up for myself All are things that I have learned are important aspects of maintaining my sobriety. I need to say yes to every invitation and being a people pleaser. I will never make everyone happy. Learning how to establish and maintain healthy boundaries has been one of the most important aspects of my recovery.
All right. And so it says, I don't need to say yes to every invitation. And being a people pleaser would never make everyone happy. Right? And so it's okay to say no. We have a saying, just as well as you can accept my yeses, you can accept my no's. All right? And so don't be afraid to tell someone no, especially when you're taking care of your recovery. Your health is so important. Number 3, let's talk about it. There is no room for negative influence. Come on in, Jerome. Jeremy. Jermaine, excuse me. Got someone else in the house. Jermaine is in the house. And so we're on number 3 of this article, Jermaine. And welcome back. Good to see you. All right. So I'm going to read number 3. And it says, there's no room for negative influences. I do not have time or space for people who are constantly negative in my life. If they are family, I can love them from a distance. All right? We just got through talking about barriers. So we have to put barriers, whether it's family or not. You gotta love them from a distance, if that be the case. But I have decided that I will no longer allow the negativity of others to drag me down. Right? That sounds like a person with some self-esteem, some good, not low self-esteem, but some good standard, high self-esteem that they set for themselves after recovery. Right? It says, I have had to cut ties with certain people who were a negative influence in my life. At first, this was a difficult process, but over time, it has created positive change. All right? And so, Jermaine, excuse me. I'm going to get it right. Jermaine. Me and Eve been going back and forth, and I don't know how you feel right now of reading. And so you let me know, and I'll be fine with it.
Number 4?
Number 4.
Okay. I am stronger than I thought I was.
Mm-hmm.
Overcome adversities shows us all how strong we really are. Sure, we all have moments of weakness and times we break down, but going through difficult times is what makes a person figure out how much they can endure and what they are really made of. Hard times can either make you or break you.
Wow, hard times can either make you or break you. And one word that I like, everyone, is resilience. Being able to bounce back from a setback.
Hard times don't last, hard people do.
Say that again for the audience.
Hard times don't last, hard people do.
Hey, listen, for y'all, all those who may be watching this, if you think we're not working on something, you're sadly wrong. Everyone in this group is working on something, and they show it through their participation. And so that's what I like about everyone that comes here. You know, sometimes we may have bad days, but today we're going to work on the good time we're going to have. All right, number 5. You got to eat?
Healthy coping mechanisms work much better than I used to think. When I was drinking to deal with my problems, the idea of going for a run to deal with the stress seemed ridiculous. Now that I'm sober, I've learned several different ways to cope with stress in a way that won't cause mayhem and destruction in my life. The process of learning these new skills may have been uncomfortable in the beginning, but over time I have learned that the healthy ways of dealing with stress are actually more effective in the long run than drinking ever was.
All right. And so if you join us late, one of the group mechanism or healthy ways of dealing with any stressful situation, or part of the 10 things we have learned through recovery, he talked about he exercised. He just read, the person that wrote this article said they go for a run. I mentioned that I go to YouTube and I read, and I think Jeremy.
No, Jermaine.
Jermaine?
Yes.
Let me write it down. But the last time, Jermaine, what, you discussed something. You told me, what do you do? You like to do a lot.
I like to do hair. I like to do interior design. I like-
Okay. You told me, if you don't mind me sharing, you like to cook.
Mhm.
All right?
I love to cook.
They love to cook. All right. Jermaine. I'm so sorry for chopping your name up, but listen, I'm an old head,
So
so
get there, man.
I'm gonna get there. And listen, truth be told, I used to smoke a lot of Tron. For those who don't know the lingo, I used to smoke a lot of marijuana. So I know you say, "Oh, it's too soon to forget." He done told you 3-4 times his name. So this is what old people do. They have to write stuff down. I remember when I was coming up, my grandma, she used to write stuff on a note and send me to the store. You know what I mean? So you don't forget, and so she didn't forget. So I'm gonna do that same, follow that same tradition. Jermaine, I got you. All right. Let's move on. Number 6. We only have 10. We on number 6, and then we're gonna be out of here. And number 6 talks about forgiveness is key. Holding on to bitterness, anger, and resentment will eat away at a person. If you are not careful, hate unchecked can consume your life and change who you are as a person. I have learned that it is important to not only forgive others, but also to forgive myself for my past mistakes. Life is too short to carry the burden of anger and resentment. All right. And so if you're out there, you're holding on to anything that's causing bitterness or resentment or anger, let it go. Apology is something, even if I learned, everybody, that even if the person,
Accept it.
huh?
Even if they don't accept it, it's all right.
That's right. We got to move on. That's right. Even as long as we did our part to, at least try, then I think we are good.
Good enough.
Good enough. All right. And so we are number 7, and it seems like we're moving fast, but I don't think we're moving too fast. I think we're moving just right. And number 7 is talk about Jermaine. What do you think? You feel like reading that one?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'm not missing out by making my life better. In early sobriety, I worried that I was missing out by being in rehab and not at social events. I was worried that I wouldn't be able to have fun anymore without drinking alcohol. While I may have missed a few events during my time in treatment, I am able to actually be there for events in my life now that I would have otherwise missed out on due to my drinking. Taking time out for self-improvement is never a waste of time.
Taking time out for self-improvement is never a waste of time. Me and my coworker Mike, we were just talking about an old video we had. In summertime, Capital Recovery Center have events, and we had the music playing, and so he got an old clip. I'm dancing. He get we laugh about it, joking. He's like, "Oh man, that's a funny clip." And so I said, "Man, at one time I used to think, man, if they ain't was smoking and joking, if they ain't had no drinks, alcohol, or dope,
That's why.
right? Exactly. That's what I used to say. But now, when we look back on the clip that he showed, I'm like, man, I ain't have an alcohol, drug, or nothing, but we was having a good time. You know what I'm saying? So it goes to show you don't have to have substances or alcohol or drugs in your system.
I've seen 2 people on the way here that I know, Delina and I seen Nye. They're 2 people I used to run with when I was out there hanging out, but I seen them on the way here like they right downtown.
Right
So
downtown.
when I hugged her, I seen Delina first and she hugged me. I was like, I'm so happy for you, such inspiration. So I'm happy you clean. And I seen the second person like right here walking down the
On
street.
purpose.
No, right here.
Oh, Washington.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he looked at me. I guess he thought I was gonna ask him where they got something because he used to, but I've been clean for a year now. So
Yeah.
he looking at me, probably thinking I'm like, nah. I said, I read his mind. Basically, I was like, I'm not doing it. I'm clean. For a year, I said I'm good. And he was just standing there waiting for me to give in. And I said, well,
Uh,
I'll see you later. And I walked away. He was waiting to see if I was going to
Yeah.
say, you know what, you want me to go get something? You need some out. That's what they used to be doing, giving them money or, wanting to go get something. That's not
Yeah.
the case no more. So
and I commend
he
you
just
for
stood there and just kept looking at me for a
Yeah.
long time. And I said, I gotta go. I said to myself, and I said, well, I'll see you later.
Yeah,
He was like, all
straight
right,
off,
get
like-
up and let's be it.
yeah, because a lot of time, normally, if we didn't have that coping mechanism or the willpower, we probably just spent up. We would probably gave in.
Yeah, but I'm not.
But you stood up to your ground and said, "Man, listen, I ain't living. I ain't walking that walk no
I
more.
got too much to like.
Too much to lose."
Yeah.
All right. Jermaine said, Jermaine said, there's too much to lose than being a part of the old lifestyle.
Mhm.
Number 8, and
The more I value myself, the more I want to stay sober. When I was at my lowest low and my drinking was at its worst, I did not value myself, my life, or my health. I did not love myself and I did not respect myself. Addiction has a way of doing this to people, and it is really a very sad thing to endure. The longer I have been sober, the more I have learned to value and take care of myself, the more I have learned to look after my health, and less I want to poison my body with alcohol.
good stuff. I like that. I like that. We need to invest more in ourselves because we're worthy of investing in ourselves. Because who else I'd rather invest in? I'd rather invest in my health, my lifestyle, my family, my relationships, my community. There's a whole lot to look at when we talk about value yourself. All right. And so number 9 was talking about 10 things I've learned from addiction recovery. This is our all recovery meeting. We do this every Thursday at 1 p.m. Tell a friend, tag him, share, like, subscribe. I know this is not a podcast, but we are live. All right. And so number 9, and I'm going to read number 9, and that is happiness takes work, and that's okay. Happiness takes work, and that's okay. I used to think that people who were happy were just the lucky ones, and I wasn't really sure how to achieve real peace or an authentic sense of joy. The thing is, it is hard to be happy when life isn't going well. Well, joy takes work because getting your life in order takes effort. Article says, reestablishing habits, routines, and thinking patterns are all things that have contributed to my sobriety. Let me read that again. Reestablishing habits, routines, and thinking patterns are all things that have contributed to my sobriety. Being happy isn't always easy, and you know what? That's okay. That's all right. Some days we're gonna have some bad moments. That don't mean that we're gonna have a bad day. I was listening to Deion Sanders. I'm gonna share it with you, and he was addressing the football team. Now he's a coach of Colorado.
State D1. Went to a D1 school now.
Went to a D1 student, so you know what I'm talking about. And so he was talking to them, and he was saying that he was asking questions. Who in here have a good day or bad day? You know, someone raised their hand. He said, you know what? He said, I don't have a bad day, no day. He said, because I may have a bad moment or bad incident, but throughout the whole day, he said, because I don't give somebody that power for them to, turn me on, turn me off, switch me on, let me off, like a remote control. Like, nah, I might have a bad moment or bad, incident with
It's only
you.
gonna last for a little bit.
Trouble only lasts for a little bit, but not all the time. All right? And so, number 10, and we're going to, do I have it there? Number 10, Jermaine.
Sobriety is the foundation for my success. All of the things that I have accomplished over the course of my journey through addiction recovery would not be possible without my sobriety. The things I have worked for and the life I have made for myself will not be in reach were it not for my commitment to live a sober lifestyle. It may have been a difficult process to get where I am today, but the longer I am sober, the easier it becomes to stay that way. Healthy habits for a sober living, no, sober life living a sober life, things I've learned in recovery, addiction recovery, lessons from a recovered addict. My bad.
Okay, and so we're gonna read what a recovery addict had to say, and her name is Julie. Julie made this statement. The statement goes as, after overcoming her own addiction in 2012, Julie went on to become certified as an addiction counselor in order to help others achieve a life of recovery. She worked in the addiction field for 8 years and now uses both her personal and professional experiences with addiction as an influence for her writing. All right, and so just as Julie has went on from being addicted to being in recovery and to being a counselor who have lived experience both on and off, whether she was using and to her professional lifestyle now, it's a great testimony to anyone and all of us in this room that we can achieve to great heights, you know, as long as we keep our mind and our health strong. And so today we were talking about 10 things I've learned from addiction recovery. This is our all recovery meeting. And so it's been a blast. I am Craig, and this is
Emmanuel.
Emmanuel. And so long, nice being with you. Y'all have a good day. Thank you.